Hey, it's Rachel, and I want to teach you about something you can do with your kids if you want to improve their confidence, if you want to make it less likely that they'll take unhealthy risks, so less likely that they'll say yes to a friend if their friend is asking them to be mean in some way. And this will actually help them fight with their siblings less as well. So what this thing is that you can teach your children is how to solve problems. Because what I found working with children over the years is that most of them don't know how to identify, let alone solve problems. For example, if you have 3 kids and they're all fighting over one iPad, none of them is thinking, hey, there are 3 of us and one iPad. That's a problem. What's the solution? No, they're all just thinking, I want that iPad. I'm going to take it. And that's why they start fighting. So we need to teach kids to identify and solve these problems. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing that you can start with is a phrase that I use in my house all the time, and you can certainly steal this one. And the phrase is that in our house, we do solutions, not complaints. So this is already encouraging kids to focus on solutions. So for example, if I had 2 kids, Tommy and Sally, and Tommy came up to me and he said, Mom, Sally's bothering me, I would say something like, oh, I'm sorry, Tommy, that stinks. I'm sorry she's bothering you. But that's a complaint. What's the solution? Now, Tommy is probably going to say, I don't know what the solution is. So the way we can teach kids to find solutions in the moment is to say something like, well, Tommy, I'll tell you what I would do, but you're the expert here. Why don't you tell me how you change my suggestion to do the right thing for you? So you're giving Tommy a suggestion, but you're also deferring to Tommy as the expert, and you're letting Tommy tell you what to do, which makes it more likely that he's going to try to find a solution that works for him. So ultimately, teaching them to solve problems in the moment is really helpful, but I also think it's easier to teach kids to solve problems more proactively. So 2 simple ways you can do that. One is to ask the question, and what do you need? So for example, if you have children who are sitting in the car and one of them says to you, Mom or Dad, I'm cold, our natural instinct is to actually solve that problem for them. We would just turn up the heat. But what you can say instead when they say, I'm cold, is say, okay, what do you need? Now, you have to ask that question sincerely. You can't ask it sarcastically or a backfire. But if you say, and what do you need? It sounds like a simple question, but it actually forces them to identify and ask for what they need, which is a huge problem-solving skill. That's why if your kids know how to ask for, identify, and ask for what they need, instead of taking something from each other, they will say, can I have that when you are done? But again, kids don't really know that there's a problem, and they certainly don't know what the solution is until we teach them. Now, the last thing you can do proactively is to really celebrate or respect problem solving as it happens. So I know one thing we do in our house is if one of us comes up with a solution or does some sort of problem solving, we use the person's initials plus the letters PS, which stands for problem solver. So if I solve a problem, my kids will point at me and they'll say RBPS, and everyone will get a little excited about it. We make a big deal when someone solves a problem. Now, if you have older kids, they might not want to do this silly celebration, but if you respect when they solve a problem, if you say something like, I wouldn't have thought of that solution, that's a really good one. That type of respect actually encourages them also to keep problem solving. So you can do this more proactively. When your kids have the tools to identify and solve problems, they are able to be in a situation where maybe a friend asks them to do something they shouldn't do, like be mean to someone else or even to cheat on a test, and they can say, you know what, this is a problem and I can solve this. And they're able to get out of those situations making healthier choices. So if you have any questions about problem solving or anything else parenting related, feel free to reach out to me at rachel@rachel-bailey.com. Until then, I'll see you next time.